has lived here since. It's a popular picnic spot for fellow boat trippers, many of whom are serial holiday makers.
Voluntary access just won't work, but equally they seem confident.
Halkey is just it's just totally on spot.
The fact that it's so little like a theme park, you know, everywhere you go these days it's all advertising, it's all logos and slogans and things like that. And Halkey's just a real place.
I was here 5 years ago and there's been a few changes but not very many. It's still basically as it was, and some of the locals remembered us as well, so it's just brilliant.
I don't mind being cut off. I like the fact that every time the hydrofoil comes in or the boat comes in, we all dash down to the harbour, you know, to have a look.
As night falls on the harbour, Halkey carries on much as it does in the daytime, quietly.
It's merely a question of choosing a taverna and drinking in the atmosphere of the harbour.
In fact, there's only 7 restaurants, each offering an almost identical range of dishes. Greek, of course. Halkey has a most unusual natural beauty, and by the end of my stay, its mild manners were beginning to grow on me.
For such a small island, Halkey has a long history. The Crusaders, Turks and Italians have all occupied the island at some point, but the locals have always maintained their own language
And traditions. Just my luck to be in town on one day of the year nominated as Halkey's Yoghurt Throwing Day. I won't tell you the date. I wouldn't want to ruin the surprise.
A fortnight at the Hiona Studios on Halkey cost from £509 this summer, based on 2 people sharing an apartment. The price includes flights and ferry transfers. The boat trip and picnic lunch costs £14. Our free booklet, Holidays Disabled Traveller, contains comprehensive advice to help you plan your holiday if you have special needs, and also includes specific information on all the holidays in the current series. Please send a large self-addressed envelope with 73 pence worth of stamps to Disabled Traveller 98, P.O. Box 7, London W12 8UD. An audio version is available on request. And details of this and all the holidays on tonight's show are on CFAX, page 618.
It's 2,600 years since the ancient Nabatean city of Petra ruled the Middle East. It didn't last. Crumbling like all civilizations before it, then this metropolis carved in stone was lost for 800 years. Only the Bedouin knew its secret, and they weren't telling.
Well, I've got a secret as well, because although it did cost £250 to come on this 9-day trip, there is indeed a catch. It's all in aid of charity.
My story is from being somebody who was unable to walk to cycling 250 miles across Jordan.
I don't think I could have ever imagined the places that I've been seeing.
The British Heart Foundation have linked up with a tour operator to organise a sponsored cycle across Jordan. It costs £250 to take part, but cyclists also need to guarantee almost £2,000 in sponsorship.
It's a clever bit of fundraising, isn't it? In fact, in 8 trips, the British Heart Foundation have raised well over £1 million.
Let's talk about the treasury. This is the tombs of Aretas, a memorial place of Aretas III.
I've joined the group at the halfway point. They've already done Pella to the Dead Sea and then Kerak before bus transfer to Petra. And for many, the journey in aid of heart research is a deeply significant experience.
I was frightened. I had the fear of the unknown. Here was I, 35 years old. I've just had a major heart attack. You know, what's the rest of my life going to be like?
I'm a heart patient myself. I have had bypass surgery, 6 bypasses.
I want people to know that there is sort of, there's a good life to be had even after a major heart attack.
There are dangers, obviously. There's dangers in cycling, there's dangers in working in this heat. I think, from my point of view, that's why sponsors are happy to put up cash.
As the day comes to an end, it's back to Petra town and a long sleep. But by morning, there's a problem. With a full day's riding planned, an illness which had already begun to affect some riders has worsened.
Just give me a show of hands. How many of you have been affected in one way or another by this tummy bug? And that's just totally unacceptable.
The organisers decide to abandon today's planned journey south. Instead, there'll be a short round trip for those who want it, returning here in the afternoon.
We've all been told that this is just, this is 1 in a million chance. I mean, this hasn't happened before for anybody. It isn't a holiday. It's been a hard slog. It's been enjoyable that you're seeing lots of sight, but don't think that you're going to come here and you're going to have a great suntan and you're just going to take it easy. It is hard work.
Okay, guys, let's go. Well, I'm finally getting to do a bit of cycling. As you might expect, I'm right at the very back, but I'm not getting macho about that. I'm just going to see if I can make part of this 8-kilometre ride.
The illness has knocked out 2/3 of the cyclists, but as always, there's full technical and medical backup, including a doctor travelling with the group. Dehydration is the biggest problem, especially for those who've been affected by the tummy bug. There are also extra rest stops before we finally stop for our lunch.
You're one of the lucky ones then?
I'm reluctant to say, I'm embarrassed to say, but yes.
She's the only bloody one. But you're embarrassed because you feel well?
Aye, absolutely fine.
So you're going to have a hearty lunch then?
I am indeed.
We're doing the off-road stuff, yes. Yeah, do or die. Yeah.
Do or die?
Do or die, well, do or die.
Had a good day?
It's been a great day, yeah. First time we've been in the dirt. It's been great.
This is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. It's the Araba Valley. Over in the distance is actually Israel. But we're still in Jordan at the beginning of the last day cycling. Some people can't make it, but a lot more are out today.
In 15 miles, we drop 1,500 metres. But then, we pay the price. Not only uphill, but off-road through sand. And as usual, I'm right at the back.
I won't pretend I've done the whole ride, but even the bits I've done have left me absolutely exhausted. So let that be a lesson to you. If you want to do this, you don't have to be super fit, but you do have to train at least a bit.
Way up ahead, the first cyclists are arriving at Roberts Rock.
Couldn't have imagined how satisfying it would feel, to struggle hard, to work hard up those hills on a hot day, and to come to not quite the end of this afternoon, but in such an astonishing place that otherwise I couldn't ever have imagined seeing. I think it's just plain fantastic.
Well, it's not for the faint-hearted, but if you are reasonably fit and you prepare beforehand, there's no reason why most people can't do this. And there's a whole number of them coming up, not just cycle rides, but treks as well, in places across the world.
No one will ever forget the Jordan experience. 9 days of ups and downs in more senses than one. The result? To date, 94 cyclists have raised well over £226,000 for the British Heart Foundation.
And if you want to go on a similar charity bike ride, the company organise around 27 a year, with destinations ranging from India to Lapland and, of course, Jordan. The minimum non-refundable registration fee is £175, for which you have to guarantee to raise at least £1,800 in sponsorship. For this, you get flights, transfers, accommodation, food and medical and technical backup. You must be between 18 and 60. There is a doctor on every trip, but it's vital you take advice from your own GP. If you particularly wanted to support the British Heart Foundation, there are currently 2 cycle rides and 1 trek on offer. Next week, I'm cruising, but not on a luxury liner. I'm travelling on a motor cruiser down the River Thames. Oz Clarke beats the boys to Barbados and tests the pitch before they roll up for the 5th Test match. Diana Medill watches the fashionable world go by in Marbella. And as for David Gower and Rory McGrath, they think it's all bonza on a camper van holiday to Australia's Sunshine Coast.
One each will do. Oh, fiddle.
How'd you like your eggs? Poached, fried, whatever.
Get a scrambled, I think.
So until next week, when I'll be on a Thames cruiser, it's goodbye from Cape Town.
EastEnders next on BBC One. Keep your head down. 3 into 2 won't go.
For my new series with this week's special guests, who are Keith Floyd and Melinda Messenger. And my son Malcolm, he's very excited about meeting the pair of them. You know, Keith Floyd and Melinda Messenger. That is. Lovely.
Mrs. Merton returns Thursday at 10:20 on BBC One.
The new Radio Times has features on forthcoming BBC programmes, together with complete listings for all television and major satellite channels.
In the county of Somerset live 2 busy men. Paul has a farm, but he's not a farmer. Hugh has a catamaran, but he's not a sailor. Meet Minehead's GP's Dr. Slade.
I got surgery in half an hour. Oh no!
And Dr. Thomas.
They show any sign of weakness and you just lose it all.
In BBC One's new series.
It's like as if I was in a different planet or somewhere.
Doctor's Orders in half an hour on BBC One.
It's all in a day's work, you know.
Quiet Thoughts, Tough Talking, now on BBC One. Light the blue touch paper and stand well clear.